I have been lying to you, dear viewers. I have peeked behind the curtain of the forbidden section and am now a victim of its endless torment. I have been held captive by the utter filth and tantalizing stories others read in the dark. The first step is admission, and I am here today in front of you all, dear viewers, to declare I am addicted to smut. My mother made this pillow. Hi, Mama. Actually, no, go away. Don't watch this one. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Naughty Neverland Book Club. Last week's video of my July wrap-up was lacking a few titles. Yes, I forgot to mention these for the sake of making this video now, so I do hope you enjoy. A quick viewer discretion for today's video. If you are underage, please go away. Just click away. Come back later. The stories I'm about to discuss are rated M for mature, or S for smut. That really should be an actual rating. These novels are not for the faint of heart or the faint of libido, though they'll definitely jumpstart it. By the way, if you are related to me or are friends with my parents, because I know they share these videos with people, click away. Please, don't watch this. Now, I'd like to start by explaining the difference between romance, spice, and smut. The latter two terms being more current connotations regarding graphic sexual scenes in otherwise normal books. Many book talkers have dedicated their entire pages to these types of novels, and I won't bore you too much with examples and the such, but just for reference if you are unfamiliar. Romance is anything romance, self-explanatory. Those mass market paperbacks you see next to the magazines in grocery stores. Too harsh? An example, Pride and Prejudice. Excellent romance. They don't even kiss, nothing happens, but it's very romantic. Such tension, oh my god. Next, we have spice. Now, spice, I would say, is not indicative of an entire genre. It is a term to describe a certain quality any genre of novel may have. Even horror novels can have a bit of spice. Maybe. Spice is essentially a graphic, open-door description of any number of characters playing out the author's dirty, dirty fantasies on paper. The elements and moments leading up to a spicy scene can make it all the more enjoyable if the stakes are high. See, spicy books are plot-driven, where if the graphic scenes were taken out, you'd still have a full-fledged story with all the points expected from a regular boring novel. Think of all the Emily Henry books, all the Colleen Hoovers, heck, even ACOTAR. If you took out the spice, you still have a novel. You still have a story with plot and purpose and characters going through real-life things. The spice is just a bonus. I can never get that right.
The wink?
Yeah. There, I did it. Now let's talk about smut. These novels are normally shorter, I found, because art imitates life. These are the novels that are all action, very little dialogue, and what dialogue they do have is dirty. Go ahead and throw your mind straight into the gutter, and what you expect to see, it's that. All of that. Just filth. Utter filth. It's fantastic. Smutty novels are those that are entirely sex-driven. If you took out the I can hear your nose whistle. Oh my god. Okay, are you done?
Breathing? No.
If you took out the spicy scenes in a smutty novel, you'd likely just have half a page of information dump on why our main character should probably seek therapy. That's it. Thank you for laughing. There's usually no story otherwise, no plot, no purpose other than to get to the next macaroni sound scene. Oh. Wow. Okay, so this smut genre is actually very new to me. I think the very first spicy scene in a novel I had ever read was in Wicked when I was far too young and it scared me. Then you have your average, mostly closed-door scenes in like Stephen King books and the very mild scenes from Twilight, which at the time I thought were, ooh, naughty, naughty. They were bland, bland. And then there came the 50 Shades of Grey, just pun intended. Since then, all I've ever read as far as spice could be found in the contemporary romance or fantasy romance novels I've been discussing for the past year and a half with you all, dear viewers. I had no idea there was a whole new world out there just full of filth. Lovely, lovely filth. And not only that, filth, smut, with very, very specific and detailed kinks. It started with just the one, and I never intended on telling anyone. I felt the shame. Then I got to some good ones, and I couldn't stop. The shame eventually melted into something slippery. And now I have no shame whatsoever, which is why I'm making this video. I'd like to say I am against kink shaming. Let's not make anyone feel outed just because they're twisted in a way you're not. They're just flexible. If you're not hurting anyone without their consent, then just go for it. Remember your safe word and read the fine print before signing your name. Let's start with the first real smut book I read, and Pablo almost outed me, with The Beast by Jenica Snow. This is a very acquired taste and was not a good one to start with. It's less than 200 pages and I read it in one sitting, and I am still trying to just scrape the mental imagery from my mind. It's Beauty and the Beast. Not even a retelling or a clever Stockholm Syndrome trope, it's just straight Beauty and the Beast. It's the same characters, the same names and everything, not even trying very hard. The Beast has his eyes set on Belle and proposes to her father that he pay off his debts in exchange for Belle's company? I can't remember if they get married exactly. Beast, who stays in beast form this entire time, by the way, there is no smoke and mirror transformation at any point. Anyway, Beast, he needs to go see like a urologist or something because it's not supposed to just leak. Oh, constantly leaking.
Is it urine?
No, it's... This video is definitely going to get flagged, and I might put the more, I'll say, liberal version on Patreon. Anyway, I hated it. I hated it. And there was a chase me scene and a pregnancy trope at the end, which I really just didn't care for. 1 star. Negative 1 star. Just take it away. Okay, after that horrible introduction, I started getting acquainted with the twisted mind of Katie Robert, and if you're smirking to yourself from hearing that name, you know what I'm talking about. I started strong with her more well-known series, Neon Gods, and then I didn't think it was going to turn into this. But I read the entire trilogy. I ate these novels up so fast and enjoyed them so much I cannot wait for the 4th one to come out next year. And I'm kind of upset that I have to wait. Neon Gods is a Hades and Persephone retelling. The second, Electric Idol, is Psyche and Eros, and the third, and my favorite, Wicked Beauty, with Achilles, Patroclus, and Helen. All of them. The third one was so much fun. I believe it had the most solid storyline, the stakes were higher than the previous two, and the characters were much more likable, in my opinion. If I had to give this series as a whole a rating, I'd say 3.5, but 4 stars for Wicked Beauty. I would say just read that one, but they all really blend with one another, and the previous sets up the next one, so read them all of them. They're really fun. These I would still consider smut even though they do have solid storylines, just because the spicy scenes are so predominant and very memorable. Stay hydrated while reading this. You'll need it. Slippery. After completing these novels, I wanted to see what else Miss Katie Robert had written, and I found this. I haven't decided yet if I'd regret it. I think I do. The Dragon's Bride. I can't remember their names. I only remember one thing from this book. The humanoid dragon that is actually very respectable and civilized, and everything about their deal rides on consent and communication. Yeah, that dragon. He has 2 eggplants. How would that work, you ask? On top of each other, duh. Similar to the Beast, in the male character is not human. I don't know why I get quotes, they're not human. This is again an acquired taste. One I have yet to acquire. A human girl makes a deal with some genteel demon who saves her from an abusive marriage and gives her to a dragon lord of some other realm of dragon, lizard people. They get married and eventually fall in love, and she wears a pendant that has her blood on it to prevent pregnancy. Clever. That's one thing I think is pretty hilarious when it comes to fantasy romance smut. Like, even in ACOTAR, they drink a special birth control tea. Ooh. Here, it's a pendant. See, that's how you know something is written by a woman, when everything is taken into account, because I can't imagine a man taking the time to explain birth control in literary porn. Anywho, we have our third act misunderstanding, which leads to our main 2 characters being separated and finding each other again. Blah, 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 blah. They live happily ever after, as they all do in every single one of these novels without fail. That is one part of the formula you cannot change. 2.5 stars. Let's fix my hair. Still want to look disheveled when I'm talking about porn. Alright, then I wanted something a bit more real, something more relatable, you know? Like, the dragon with 2 giant eggplants and a tail is all fine and good, but give me something I can just watch in my head without having to fill in the gaps. There's a joke in there somewhere. First, I went with Your Dad Will Do. I'll warn you now, if you are not into the word daddy... Oh wow, I didn't like the way I just said that. I also didn't say it out loud when I was reading it.
Oh yeah.
Then I just said it out loud now and I can't... Oh my god. Patreon. I'm sweating. Then this book is not for you. These 2 characters say the word daddy way too many times. I honestly had to skim over every time they would say it because that's just... It's not my thing. Give it time. But other than that, I actually enjoyed it. We have our main character, female. Don't ask me anyone's name, that's not important. She walks in on her fiancé in bed with another woman. Cliché. Been there, done that. How does she plan on exacting her revenge? Sleeping with his best friend? Psh, amateur. His brother? I can get behind that. But no, she goes straight to his dad. Hence the title. Now, at first glance, it seems cheap. And it is. But once you get more into the plot, we find that these 2 have been lusting over each other the entire time anyway, so extra points for delayed gratification. This book was fun. It was short, sweet, romantic-ish, dirty, filthy, the dirty talk. The dirty talk. I need a fan. There's a happy ending, characters resolve their issues, there's even more delayed gratification. It's great. 3.5 stars. And I would like to just add, none of these are literary masterpieces. None of them. There are typos everywhere, the sentence fragments. Do not read this with a red pen. Just read it with a vibrator. Next, we have Theirs for the Night. This was the shortest read out of all of them so far at only 69 pages. Yep.
Nice.
Thank you. You can't make that up. This had even less plot than the Randy Papa. Girl goes to club for her birthday, finds 2 guys that choose her for the night, then they go dance. The Devil's Tango. I only found out after reading that this is actually a precursor of a book for this big Katie Roberts series with royal secret identities, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's too much story for what I'm looking for at the moment. 3 stars. Next, I'm just blasting through these. I'm very dehydrated. Last on the list for today is Gifting Me to His Best Friend. I think that's the title. And the last smutty title I've read from Robert so far. There will be more. This one is from the same Taboo series as the Dad one, I believe, and you get the same feels. There's a bit more character, a bit more backstory. You're invested as the reader in the outcome of these characters, which I enjoyed. We have a childless married couple of 7 years. The husband has a friend that likes to tag along on holiday trips. All right, this is a Christmas special, by the way. Fun. So our little throuple finds themselves snowed in a cozy winter cabin for their Christmas getaway and decide to cross some lines, test some boundaries, and ruin some friendships. It's hot, it's steamy, it's kinda cute, and it's that old song and dance yet again. You know, The Devil's Tango, an apparent favorite for Robert. This one didn't have much in the kink factor other than the throuple aspect, so if you tend to browse the hardcore tab, this one might be a bit on the mild side, but it was cute. I was smiling. A lot. 3.2 stars. Okay, those are all the titles I will be discussing today. Are they all the smutty titles I've read so far? No, and I've probably read twice as many by the time this goes out. But if this video gets any longer, I might start an OnlyFans where I talk about just smut the whole time, while keeping my clothes on. Anyway, until that sorts itself out, let me know in the comments down below if this is something you'd like to hear more about from me. Because I don't show signs of slowing down. I'm gonna keep reading what I'm gonna keep reading. And yes, I do still read all of the books discussed in our TBRs and such, of course, but occasionally when I want to just turn my brain off and read something of the erotic persuasion, I indulge. I am an adult and I'm not hurting anyone. I'm not sorry. But I do understand this sort of content isn't for everyone, so let me know in the comments your opinions. Maybe I'll just do one every other month or so. We'll see. Alright, that's all I have for you all naughty viewers. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like this video if you liked it and subscribe if you're not. Also be sure to flog that bell to be notified when more of me is on the internet. I should probably be on it less. Today today's shout out goes to Israel Angel. That's how it's presented. All the compliments, they warm my heart. Thank you for your kind words, though most of the credit does go to Pablo. He built these shelves, he lights the space, he does the filming, the color, the audio. As I've said in the past, I just show up and entertain. And now, I leave. All right, I'm off to go download all 20 books in a Blue Alien series. And I'm not talking about Avatar. If you know, you know. Stay smutty, keep reading. Goodbye.